Welcome in episode 345 of the Sources Say podcast, your go-to Kentucky basketball and recruiting podcast on the growing KSR Podcast Network. We have an absolute treat for Sources Say listeners today as Kentucky basketball royalty joins the show. Reed and Madison Sheppard are with us today. Welcome, and thank you both for coming on.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having us. We're very excited to chat with y'all today.
So what brings us back to Lexington? It's a very exciting time for us as the Sheppard family gets to come back for the Reed Sheppard fantasy experience. Just kind of a brief overview. Why are you guys coming back home to Lexington?
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky's home, so we're just excited to get back and continue to be in Kentucky and kind of interact with the fans and the community once again, and just really excited to be back with family and friends in Lexington and kind of have a good camp.
So this camp is going to be a combination fantasy basketball, golf, business summit, but Faith Day is obviously something that's very important to you guys. We'll talk about some of the other stuff in a minute, but the Faith Day was something that you guys really wanted to drive home and make sure that fans knew that this was kind of the anchor of the event, why you guys were really excited to get back. Just kind of overview what is Faith Day and why should fans be so excited about it?
Yeah, Jack, the purpose of Faith Day for our family is, number one, our family is rooted in our relationship with the Lord. And so to be able to showcase that and allow people to experience, our family beyond basketball is what this is all about. And so our purpose for Faith Day is to love on and serve around 500 families. And so we're really looking forward to getting to interact with, as Reed said, different individuals from Lexington and surrounding areas, just to experience the love of the Lord and just to share that with them and just have a good time. We want to let people know that we as a family are there to serve them and that we are more than just basketball players, because without that, we are still a family and we still have a great time together and we still love one another. And so that's our purpose in hosting this event.
Now, Reed, it's my understanding you guys are going to have a very special guest joining you as well, who also made it very clear that faith was the most important part of his life as well. Also a fan favorite, Oscar Sheboy, will be joining you. Just how cool will it be to have you two being able to talk about what's most important in your life?
Yeah, it'll be really cool. Oscar's definitely a fan favorite, and he's a really good person, and I'm super excited that he's gonna be able to come and interact with the fans and kind of share a little bit of his story with the fans. And so it'll be really cool having him back at Kentucky for sure.
So some of the event details: you get a family photo with Reed, the Sheppards, and Oscar Sheboy. You get to take a shot on the court at historic Rupp Arena. Free pizza and famous Rupp Arena ice cream. And every single family will leave with a special gift backpack from the Sheppards that includes a basketball, a Bible, and a backpack. So just really, really cool, awesome thing that you guys are doing. Just kind of what will the day include? What will Faith Day include? Just, when they show up on August 23rd, what will kind of be the schedule events for people in attendance?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, our purpose is to love on and serve people. And so it's pretty much that simple. So as people arrive at the event, they're going to be greeted by our family and Oscar and one of our family friends, Dr. Greg White, at White, Greer, and Maggard. And then, we have a tremendous group of volunteers from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes that are going to be in attendance helping us out. And so with that group in mind, we will be greeting and receiving these families as they arrive. And then through the course of the evening, we're going to serve them pizza and ice cream. And then they're going to get to hear from Reed and Oscar and Dr. White and our family testimonies of the Lord's faithfulness to us. And then again, they're going to get to take a shot on Rupp Arena's floor, which is every little kid's dream. And so really just providing a night where people can come and feel loved and appreciated. And so from our family to the families that are going to be in attendance, we're just really excited to meet you or meet you and see you again. But it really will be a simple night of fellowship and just really getting to interact with people that we've met before or haven't gotten to meet yet.
In Madison, it's my understanding the entire weekend, all proceeds will be going to the Sheppard Family Foundation. Just tell us a little bit more about that. What does that entail? And it's my understanding that you're also leading the foundation.
Yeah, so our family has a purpose and a vision to just give back to the people in Kentucky, whether that be through basketball opportunities or different sport opportunities. But ultimately, we just want people to know that we care for them and love on them. You never want your success in basketball to outweigh the way that you love and care for people. And so as a family, our heart and goal is to just continue to love on and serve. And I'm sure that sounds redundant, but it's very simple, but that's just the heart of who we are, is just to love on people. It's how we've always been as a family. And so to be able to continue that as a family through the foundation, that's just our purpose. And so we're not in it for the money by any means. We're in it to just love on people and be able to give back to different people and organizations, as the Lord has been very faithful to our family.
Absolutely. Reed, I don't know if you remember last summer, I was actually a player on your team at the Coach Cal Fantasy Camp. Very terrible basketball player for your standards and Kentucky basketball standards. So I apologize now looking back at it. But just the chance for this event to be, named after you, the fantasy experience where everything kind of came together for you this past season in, ways that nobody could ever even dream of, to have this camp and this whole weekend where it is also basketball, golf, business. Things are focused on you. Just how cool is it to be able to use this platform and, come back to Lexington and kind of do things your way this time around?
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited to be back in Lexington and be around all the people that have been through the fantasy camps before, and the new people as well. So just being able to be back in Lexington, be around the fans and the community, with my family, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're just really excited for the opportunity.
So you want to jump into some of the basketball stuff, because I know fans are obviously very excited to, catch up with you. You've obviously been a very popular topic around here, especially the last couple of months. It's been a big, wild summer for you in particular. Just how have things been in the world of Reed Sheppard last couple of months?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fast couple months for sure. It's been a fun couple months, and I'm just really excited to get down to Houston and get things started. But right now we're at the beach and just enjoying the time together as a family that we have.
And Reed, has it been a smooth transition to a professional career, and then all the things that you had to do at Kentucky, playing in that spotlight? How much did that prepare you to be a pro, not just on the floor but off the floor as well?
Yeah, it definitely prepares you. At Kentucky, you go against the best players in the world. I think I played for the best coach in the world, and just going against them every day in practice prepares you for the next level. And you have to get better every day. You learn so many things on the court and off the court, whether it's different, anything, just how to take care of your body off the court when you have an off day, or take care of your body after a practice, and just stuff like that prepares you for the next level for sure.
So Reed, just this your one and done season in Lexington, just arriving on campus, obviously playing as well as you possibly could up in Toronto, and then just the transition into life as a college basketball player. When did it hit you that, like, okay, maybe we're cooking with something here? Maybe this is going to be, I thought this was going to be a 3-4 year run, and maybe this is going to be one. Like, when was that realization of, oh man, life is about to come really, really fast for me?
No, I never thought about after college until after the season. through the whole season, I was just worried on being the best player that I could be and the best teammate that I could be, and just have as much fun as I could playing at the University of Kentucky. And after the season, me and my parents sat down and we talked a little bit. But this year was so much fun, and we had a great team, and everyone loved each other, and it was just a really good group to be a part of.
And Reed, we know that wearing that Kentucky jersey is a special thing, and you've passed the torch off to two more in-state guys, in Travis Perry and Trent Noah. Do you have any advice for those two guys in maybe what it takes to kind of wear it? Because we know being a Kentucky kid is just a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean they know the pressure that comes with it, and they know how much it means to be a Kentucky kid and wear that jersey. So they're prepared, and they're going to have a great season. But I mean, I would just tell them just to have fun and enjoy it all. Not a lot of people get to put on that Kentucky jersey, especially being from Kentucky and going to Kentucky games growing up. So I'm excited to see them play this year. I think they're both going to do really well.
What would you be, obviously the state of Kentucky has a lot more talent to come as well. Jasper Johnson, Malachi Moreno, even the 26th class is unbelievable. Just what would be the recruiting pitch on your side, saying, I lived it. This is, the good, the bad, the ugly that comes with it. What would be your recruiting pitch to a guy like Jasper Johnson or a guy like Malachi Moreno? Knowing that you've seen the highs and lows at the spotlight as bright as it comes.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Kentucky. For me, it was an easy choice. It was my dream school growing up, and for them, I hope it's the same. So they have a easy choice to make as well. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's Kentucky. You're playing on national television every game. You're going to be playing against the best players in the world. You have great facilities, and so it's a great place to play basketball and a great place to live.
And I know you had a lot of great moments this past season, but is there one that just sticks out to you the most that you're going to always remember? Mississippi State on the road, a big shot you made, any single moment?
There was a lot of them. I mean, if I had to pick one, it probably would be the Mississippi State game. But this year's team was so much fun to play with and to be a part of, and it was a great season, and I'm super thankful for the opportunity. Was it
everything? You were the kid that grew up dreaming of wearing blue and white and wearing Kentucky across your chest. Was it everything you hoped for? Was it more than you hoped for? Was there anything missing there? Obviously, just tournament, postseason aside, obviously everybody wanted a little bit more with that, but just the overall experience, was it everything you dreamed of growing up as a kid in the state?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was a really fun year, and it was just something I'll never be able to forget. I'm super thankful for the opportunity and the teammates and coaches that I had in my time at Kentucky. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm super, super happy for it all.
What was the start of the offseason like for you? Because for us, it was very weird, just how quickly things got thrown upside down, and the transition and the move for a guy that we love, and Coach Cal going down to Arkansas. We're obviously going to be rooting for him and his individual success, while also embracing this new era of Kentucky basketball. Just from your perspective, knowing your relationship with Cal and how much you love him versus also your love for the program. How weird is it being in your shoes right now for in that regard?
No, I don't think it's weird at all. Coach Cal is my coach. I still talk to him multiple times in a week. He'll text and call me, and we'll cut up here and there. And so it's been good seeing him, and I'm looking forward to watching him this year, watching him coach. But at the end of the day, I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm from Kentucky. I played at Kentucky, and I'll continue to cheer for Kentucky no matter what.
Just what did Pope even try to recruit you back, or was it just like, man, if you wake up one day and your heart tells you to return, let's make this happen? But I know you got to do what you got to do. Just were those very brief conversations with the new man in charge?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple phone calls, a couple FaceTimes. I think Coach Pope's going to do a really good job. Coach Pope and his family are really close to our family, and Coach Pope done a great job at BYU, and I expect him to do the same thing here at Kentucky, and I'm excited to watch him play this year. I think they got a good team, and I think he's going to have a good season this year.
You said the NBA draft was the ultimate birthday present for mom, and just what a night for all of us, for BBN, just supporting you and just seeing the process through from start to finish. My question is, how do you one up a birthday present to mom moving forward? Like, I feel like there is no better birthday present than what you got to experience this past year. Like, what's gonna be next year's birthday present for mom?
I'm not sure. Mom's pretty simple, so maybe she'd like a little beach trip or something. But so she's loving the beach, and So we'll see.
How important was that? Just that night for you, and being able to be around your closest friends and family. So many people coming from back home to support you, and everybody that has been there from day one of your basketball journey to seeing it through to the finish line. Obviously, in the pro career is the beginning for this next step, but the finish line of your local journey. Just how cool was that night for you, and one you obviously dream of as a kid?
Yeah, for sure. It was a unbelievable night, and like you said, having my friends and my family there that have been with me from the beginning, it meant the world to me. And to have them there and then have a little after party after was so much fun, and that's something that I'll never forget. I like looking back at the pictures. I look back at them quite a bit, just seeing everybody that was there, so it means a lot to me.
And then you took the summer league by storm, obviously making first team all summer league, and stepping right into the pro game the way Kentucky fans hoped and expected, but maybe for yourself as well, proving that you belong from day one. How cool was that experience, just being out in Vegas and making your unofficial pro debut?
No, it was a lot of fun. Being back, playing basketball, competing was so much fun, and doing it at the summer league in the NBA. So it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the season to get started.
What go for it, Sean?
Well, I was going to say, is there a player that you're looking forward to maybe playing against the most? Maybe a guy you grew up watching in the NBA? Like, is there anyone that stands out that you just can't wait to get on the floor with?
There's a few guys that I'm excited to play against. I'd say Devin Booker's one of them, just from watching him play at Kentucky, and just knowing how great he is and how good of a career he has had. So I think there's a lot of guys that's going to be really fun to be able to play against and play with.
What are your personal expectations going into your rookie year as a team? Obviously, the Rockets have such young talent. Things kind of coming together, a lot of optimism that the Rockets are ready to lift off. I know it's cringy, sorry, the dad joke, but just how excited, what are your expectations going into your rookie year, both individually and as a team?
Yeah, obviously the goal is to win a championship, but I'm just looking forward to being in the NBA and being able to learn as much as I can, and just taking it all in and just having as much fun as I can in my first year.
I think fans will want to know. I think I saw one picture of you buying a truck. What was your first pro contract purchase as officially an NBA player?
That was the truck.
How good did that feel to just go and say whatever I want, I can go get it? Like, how do you decide? Like, was that a dream truck for you? Like, is that one that you just found online? Like, how did that work out?
I've kind of always wanted a truck, and especially now that I'm going to be in Texas, I felt like it fit to drive a big truck in Texas, so that's why I went with the truck.
Oh man, that's awesome. Sean, you have anything else before we get the Sheppards out of here?
I'm good.
Reed, just one last message to BBN. Just what did this last year mean to you? What is your relationship going to be with them moving forward? And especially to get back in town, how excited are you for your own fantasy experience?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited. Kentucky and Kentucky fans have meant the world to me, and my last year there was unbelievable, and it was something I'll never forget. So I'm just super excited to be back.
In Madison, for you, seeing this from up close and personally from the beginning, how proud are you of Reed to be able to have this platform, to be able to use it for good and have the faith day and different things? Just how cool is it to be Reed Sheppard's sister right now?
Well, Reed said it best. He said from the beginning, I'm just a little boy from Kentucky, and my answer goes the same way. He's just my little brother. And so, of course, I'm beaming with pride and can't, even put into words how proud I am of him. But, like we mentioned earlier, we're here together as a family at the beach, and I'm watching him as my little brother jump into waves. And so it's just so much fun to be able to experience this along with him.
Madison Reed, Mom wants you at the beach.
Pardon the interruption.
Are y'all on the phone?
But
you can get Jeff. You can get Jeff in here too if you want to talk. If he wants to talk.
Anyway, you hear it. We're just pumped up to be here together, and it's just an unbelievable experience, as a family, for Reed to walk in, my parents' footsteps at the University of Kentucky, and then to step into the NBA, who has greeted us as a family extraordinarily well. And the Houston Rockets are a wonderful organization that we are excited to be a part of. Even though we get to wear red.
I was going to ask, what is that like?
It's not something that I anticipated happening in my lifetime, but I'm telling myself it's not Louisville red, so it's Houston Rocket red. That's how I'm making it.
Well, Madison, Reed, thank you guys so much. This was an absolute blast. For more information about Faith Day, for more information about the Reed Sheppard Fantasy Experience, it's all available to you. ReedSheppardExperience.com. Outreach efforts have been made available throughout the community, but we encourage you to learn more. It's all there for you guys. The Sheppards, we love you. We thank you for everything, and we wish you nothing but the best in Houston. But make sure Lexington stays your second home.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jack. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, guys. Well, Sean, man, that was about as good as it gets. We obviously love the Sheppards, love reading his experience here. Just how cool is this to get them back here and have them on here to talk about it.
No, it's super cool. And you and I, we followed Reed from the moment before he got a Kentucky offer and after he got the offer. And then for me personally, being a 13th Region 606 guy and seeing what he accomplished, not only for this state, but that part of the state, there's a lot of pride, when I watch him play. There's a lot of pride when I watch how he represents himself and that region and that part of the state and the state in general. And there's just you're going to see a lot of Reed Sheppard Houston Rockets jerseys probably at Rupp Arena, not Kentucky Reed Sheppard jerseys, but you're going to see a lot of Rockets jerseys in the crowd and when Kentucky plays and all around the state. And I think that's a really cool thing I'm not going to lie, Jack, I never saw that coming. I thought he was a really good player. I didn't know how good he was, but he quickly shifted all that to sometime in December. I said, man, this kid's good enough to go. And then didn't know he'd go number 3, but shame on me for thinking that he may be number 7 or number 8 because he probably should have been number 1.
It's crazy. Like to just have that conversation in hindsight and saying number 3 draft pick, Reed Sheppard joins us today to talk about his fantasy experience coming back because he's a big time pro, take the NBA by storm, one of the favorites for Rookie of the Year. And we get to talk about him in hindsight of, Kentucky basketball legend. Like all of that's already, it's happened. It's done. His legacy is in concrete. It's hard to even put into words how unbelievable this last 365 days have been. And
are we forgetting that was his second appearance on this podcast? Do you remember? He was one of our first live episodes that we ever had on this channel. And he came in. Remember the jacket or the coat he was wearing?
Yeah.
I'd love to have a screen grab of that to go. And that seems like forever ago, but it really wasn't. I mean, it's not even been 2 years. And then here he is as a top 3 draft pick. Like, man, is that no, he's not our first person to come on for 2 episodes. First player I think we've had on for more than once. But man, it's been cool to see where we were to where we are now, and to watch him do what he's doing.
Yeah, and I mean, August 22nd, 23rd, this Reed Sheppard fantasy experience, I will be playing in it again. I'll be coached by, the Sheppards and Goose Givens and Seth Greenberg and Tubby Smith. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to embarrass myself. I go into these events just saying, if I get one, just give me one breakthrough game. I have a 20-10 game at Rupp Arena that nobody will ever be able to take away from me. I just want that. I want it in front of Oscar Sheboy. I want it in front of Reed Sheppard. I want it in front of Tubby Smith. I'm dying for it. Sean, are you going to be able to figure out a way to make it over there on August 22nd, 23rd?
I came over there to support you last year, and I was right there.
I was terrible in the game. You were there. I was better the rest of the weekend, but I don't know if it was just the source of the nerves got to me. Yeah, I don't know if it was just the nerves that got to me, but I'll be better this year. I'll be better.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to make it over there to watch and support and see what you do. I know Seth gives you a hard time every now and then. I can't wait to see what Tubby says, but you may earn your way into that final scholarship if you go over there and have a good performance. It'll be me looking for the co-host of this show.
I'm not a full-time student anymore, but I have 4 years of eligibility, baby. Like, dude, I could step in today and be that grizzled vet. Like, remember, I don't know what, 10 years ago, there was that college basketball player that he went to play, was in the military and then came back and played somewhere. And he was like a 28-year-old sophomore. I can't remember. I think he got drafted. I can't remember who it was, but that's going to be me. That's going to be
like a 70-year-old man that played college basketball at one point too. I swear that's real.
I feel like you just made that up.
I promise I didn't. I want to think it was in Tennessee.
I mean, that would make sense, but
I'm telling you, like, I didn't make that up. We got to fact check that before this episode's over.
Well, can't wait. Go sign up at the ReedShepherdExperience.com. Tickets are available. They're going very, very quickly. We even had to have a conversation going in. It's like the window is going to be tight. So if you want to participate in this and the Faith Day individually, you can sign up for things individually and separately. You can do the whole weekend, or you can just do the Faith Day with Reed and Oscar and the family. So that's going to be a blast. I mean, obviously the basketball part is one thing, but man, the Faith Day is going to be really, really cool. A chance for these players to be bigger than basketball. Like when you talk about these kids wanting to, use their platform for good and do things that mean something to them as individuals beyond just, here I am dribbling a basketball and making shots for you. This is how they want to use their platform. Like this is where you should support them the most. Like this is the really, really cool part of, what NIL was while they were in college, obviously, but like, also in their adventures beyond their time at Kentucky. This is just a really cool opportunity. Again, it's free for all attendees. They're inviting 500 families to this event. Those are going really, really, really fast, but it's students ages 6 to 18, but it's a family event. Each registration grants entry for the student and up to 4 members of their family. Families will be broken up into groups to rotate through all the different experiences as part of the event. Like I said, you get a family photo with Reed and Oscar and the other Sheppards as well. You get to take a shot on the court at historic Rupp Arena and free pizza and famous Rupp Arena ice cream. I mean, I don't know what else you could ask for. I mean, it's free and you get to be with the Sheppards and Oscar at Rupp Arena taking a shot on the Rupp Arena floor, and you get free ice cream, Rupp Arena ice cream. I mean, that's a dream come true for any Kentucky fan.
Absolutely it is. And yes, Ken Mink was 73 years old and is believed to be the oldest person ever to score in a college basketball game. When
he scored?
Sank 2 free throws versus Roane State Community College in Harriman, Tennessee against King College on November 3rd, 2008. I knew I didn't make that.
2008?
I know.
I thought you were going to say like 1914.
No, his birthday's 1935. But he sank 2 free throws in 2008. So, yeah. And he continued to participate as a member of the team, playing in 7 games and scoring in 3. He actually scored a 2-point field goal against Hiwassee College, becoming the oldest player to ever score a field goal in a college basketball game. I guess if he fouls or does anything, he's the oldest player to do any of it, but that's pretty cool.
He's the oldest player to breathe on a basketball court. He's the oldest player to take 4 steps on a basketball court. I mean, we could just do every accolade imaginable. I
love how we can be so serious and then go complete, like, I mean, it's wild how many turns we can take on an episode of Sources Say.
That's what this is all about. Oh man, just very ridiculous. Other housekeeping notes. This isn't going to be a super long show. We have officially locked in this upcoming Tuesday. We will be at the Kentucky Roadshow shop with Jimmy Mahan and the gang. It's going to be an absolute blast. We're going to see blast from the past, all the memorabilia you could ever dream of. Oscar's national championship trophy. St. Peter's got us. We get the National Player of the Year trophy, all the old historic jerseys and memorabilia, shoes, sneakers, old retro microphones that were used in the Glory Road game. Like, I mean, the coolest stuff you could possibly dream of as a Kentucky fan will be there, and we'll show it off to you. Jimmy will explain what it all is and his history as a Kentucky basketball fan, how he got there. He was a part of the Kentucky basketball program once upon a time. So he has all the stories and memories you could possibly dream of. And he has seen several of the practices up to this point. This is the last week of summer practices, Sean. I mean, this is a really big, crucial week to kind of cross your T's, dot your I's, tie this thing up with a bow. You know, put up or shut up time to get everything out there that you want with the summer before you get into the real stuff. I mean, the initiation, all the fun, icebreakers and meet and greets and things like that. All that stuff is behind us. It's now time for Kentucky basketball season as the summer workouts are over. So, how excited are you for kind of turning the page on the summer and officially getting into Kentucky basketball preseason mode?
I'm excited about it. I mean, you know me being a basketball guy, but the biggest thing that I think here is where we are now in today's college game, Jack, is there's not a lot from the moment they get here to campus. There's not a lot of that downtime before official practice actually starts. You're on the court a whole lot longer. And then this being the last week, it's not long till they kind of come together again and start the real deal of preparation for the season. So I think that's a big thing for college teams, especially Kentucky, when you've got an entirely new roster in different fashion than you're used to having it. You don't have that long layoff. They get some time, but then, I mean, they're right up, they're stacking it. You've got your summer work, then you got your fall work, but those guys have put in a lot over the stretch of summer months over there. The foundations for what this program is going to be built on the floor, whatever the culture that has been established, the groundwork has been laid, and now they're starting to stack it. And then you kind of pick up where you leave off here in a few weeks. And then look, Jack, they're playing basketball in less than 3 months.
Oh.
I mean, they're talking exhibition schedule and regular season stuff coming up here in about 3 months. So
two until Big Blue Madness. I mean, yeah. Big Blue Madness last year was what, October 13th?
It's usually around that 13th, 14th, 15th window. So
that's 2 months. That's 2 months and 5 days from today.
And here we always wonder about, man, what kind of content are we going to create during the summer? And here it's almost over with.
Well, that's what's funny when we were talking to Jimmy about, getting, I've had this dream of doing the show at Jimmy's shop since last offseason, and everything just go with Toronto and how hectic things got. We were just like, let's focus on sometime this summer. We'll get into the dog days of the summer. And then here we are, like the window is like this tiny right now to be able to fit this in, and we're thrilled to be able to, man. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be one of my favorite shows that we've ever done, so I'm really looking forward to that. But it does just kind of
a little bit different, right? Because we're going to be there in person and kind of moving around. It's not just going to be us stationary and things. Like, I think that's going to be the cool thing about it. It's a different version of Sources Say, but kind of takes us down memory lane for some things too.
If you are a history buff, like when I had the number 44 jersey during the Big Z stuff, I got these things from Jimmy and his shop. Like the reason I'm able to have cool stuff and turn this into a little tiny mini museum is because of Jimmy's actual museum where he has all the actual real cool stuff. So it's going to be a blast. If you're a history buff for Kentucky basketball, this is going to be the show for you. He's going to take you down memory lane and show you stuff that you never even thought existed. And it's going to be really, really, really cool.
Maybe I can get something to add to my Sources Say logo behind me.
I'm digging the setup right now, actually.
Yeah, finished up the school day and just figured we'd go from here. But that's a freshman basketball schedule, JV basketball schedule, and a varsity basketball schedule. And if you want the numbers to call anyone in the building, they're there behind me too.
Are we gonna have to like do the blur thing that you do like on Hard Knocks whenever like they're showing super important information that can't be shown out to the public? We're gonna have to like go into this after the fact and blur out anything that's important. And here he goes. He's actually looking to make sure there's nothing actually important.
No, I checked before we started recording. I was like, don't have any type of information back there that you can put on screen to anybody. So no, there's nothing back there.
Let's kind of switch into preseason mode a little bit. Did you get a chance to see the mic'd up clip that UK posted earlier in the day on Thursday of Mark Pope? It was like 6 minutes of Mark Pope coaching. It's really cool.
I have not got a chance to see that, but I can imagine it was great.
Yeah, it's him, and it's you talk about like what his philosophies are and how he presents himself with his players, and like just the system, and you use all these kind of like catchphrases when talking about Pope. But like we actually get to hear it for the first time, and it's really cool. Just kind of watch him in his element, and real hands-on instruction with technical footwork, and hey, if this happens, do this, and if they react this way, respond this way. This left shoulder jump hook is going to be available for you every single time. Little kind of nitpicky details that you go, oh, this is awesome. This is coaching. This is what we kind of signed up for with an X's and O guru guy in Mark Pope when we wanted to get him, hire him to begin with. So it's just a really cool, segment video. If you haven't watched that, make sure you go do that. But it's also kind of gets your blood flowing a little bit, get you a little amped up for the season, because it does genuinely feel like it's right around the corner. I mean, Big Blue Madness in 2 months, that's real.
Well, and me being a coach, my favorite coaches are the guys that pay attention to the details, and no detail is too small. That's who Mark Pope is. And you mentioned, the video and stuff out on social media. We've seen little clips throughout the summer of him where it's like short spurts of him teaching or him speaking to the team. Details matter. The smallest ones are massive, especially when you're establishing a culture. We know the winning culture that's established as a program, it's always going to be here, but your individual culture as a head coach and what you want this brand of Kentucky basketball to be, Jack, his is details. And he's going to coach them and make sure guys are doing what they're supposed to do. And if it's footwork, or if it's someone's shoulder and showing too much chest and getting a shot blocked, he's going to break it down and show it. I love the clips that I've seen of him being engaging with post players, him being the guy down there defending and showing guys what he wants, not sticking a manager or somebody down there. Like, he gets hands-on at practice, and that's a really cool thing to see from your head coach.
Kirk Carissa brought that up in interviews a couple of weeks ago. It was just like you've just in a vacuum, you think that the guards are smarter than the bigs. Like, you just think that the point guard, they're the leader, they're the kind of the ones running the ship. You just think in your head that they are smarter than the bigs. And Kerr was like, I kind of feel dumb because Mark Pope is a freaking basketball genius, and he's 12 feet tall. So it's just funny. I mean, he's a Rhodes Scholar candidate for a reason. He was in med school for a reason before he, went and, swept the floors at Georgia with Mark Fox. And we know the rest of that story, but there's a reason why he has gotten this job to begin with.
When Mitch was introducing him that day for his introductory press conference at Rupp Arena, he was talking about all the boxes that he checks. And I mean, he checks a lot of them, not just as a basketball coach, but as a human being and as, all the success he had as a student. Like, it's a brilliant human being. And I think that he has a lot of brilliance to the basketball side of this as well. And I mean, I'm excited to see what this team's going to be. You're getting this whole preseason thing about where we're speaking about an unknown, right? Like, you and I on here can breathe a lot of positivity. We still do not know. You have guys that are not bought in, that think maybe they're middle of the pack or less in the SEC, questioning whether or not they have a leader. Those are all fair judgments to make right now because we just do not know. So it's a little all over the place, but I think that this team together, Jack, that the guys that they brought in for what they were handed, how difficult it is to do NIL, but you're having to do it with an entirely new roster with a lot of super seniors and getting guys to get their last hurrah of college basketball to be in Lexington. There was a lot that went into that. And I think that it was impressive how he put it together. And I think he's got a collection of talent that if they're together, I think can be very good. Listen to some national guys the last couple of weeks that they say dumb stuff. And I think they pick some things, and I get it, it's for content, but some guys may come back and be wrong, and that'll be fine if they are.
Yeah, I think this team is going to be a really, really high floor team at minimum. Like at minimum, that's if you're looking for optimism going into this season, I think the chances of this thing being a dumpster fire are close to zero. I mean, the coaching is there. You know that he's built a roster of 12 pretty darn good college players. There might not be pro talent. I know that's kind of the talking point. There's no guy to go get you a bucket. There's not the guy at the end of the shot clock, blah, blah, blah. That's the thing that's being talked about until we're blue in the face. I get that part. That may lower the ceiling potentially slightly, but a high floor college basketball team is a really comfortable place to be in. Like you might get beat out by some of the elites of the elites at the highest level, but on any given Wednesday, you're gonna go out there and win basketball games, and that's what fans want to see right now. They wanted to see the tangible product from day one of, can we win with Mark Pope? And he's going to prove undoubtedly, without a single question in my mind, that he will absolutely do that. And then the other questions start coming after that of the recruiting and all that. And I think, honestly, we're going to get a lot of those questions answered here in the early signing period. Some of the conversations I've had this week kind of have me thinking that the way these official visits are lining up here in the next couple of months, Big Blue Madness, kind of, couple weeks before, a couple weeks after, getting into that November early signing period, I think there's a very real shot that Kentucky has 3 top 40 guys signed by November. That's a pretty solid footing to, kind of get moving forward going into the spring and kind of establish your foundation and identity of what your recruiting base is going to look like to start building optimism going into 2026, as we've talked about on the show the last several weeks. Like, I think we're going to start getting some real recruiting momentum sooner rather than later. Whether that's Jasper Johnson or not, I asked that question specifically to Reed to kind of sell this program to the guy. That's the dream scenario for a guy like Jasper Johnson, to wear that Kentucky jersey as well as imaginable en route to a top 3 draft selection. Like, that is the vision for a Jasper Johnson. So, Jasper announces in 2 weeks. It will be Kentucky, Alabama, or UNC. We'll see what happens there. I think it's closer than people are giving Kentucky credit for. Most people publicly are saying it's Alabama or UNC. I personally think that it's closer to Alabama and Kentucky being 1A, 1B, with UNC kind of sliding back a little bit than most people are saying publicly. But that's just my personal educated hunch based on my conversations. But if it's not Jasper, it's going to be somebody else. And if it's not that person, it's going to be somebody else. They have created a foundation that's really, really strong of 13, 14 guys that they're in a pretty darn good spot with. They're setting up these official visits. I think you could talk about a ballpark scenario where you have any combination of Jasper Johnson, Malachi Moreno, Braylon Mullins, and Nico Bundalo as 4 guys, three of those 4 potentially being, signed on by November. I think that's a very real thing. And you get Nate Ament on campus for an official. You're getting Tunde Yesufu. Like they're getting dudes on campus. Now it's on them to close, but I'm not betting against this staff. I've really liked what I've heard up to this point. It's okay to have those questions now, but when the answers start coming, be receptive to those as well, because I think there's some naysayers out there that are just kind of looking for reasons to not believe in what this program is going to be moving forward.
The one thing that I've heard about Mark Pope the most from a lot of people that I've talked to, in coaching or that know him, is just how hard of a worker he is. That he leads the charge in a lot of areas in his program. There's he delegates things, obviously. All coaches do, but it's delegating it with also being active in it. You know what I mean? Like he's active in it. He works hard. His hard work, Jack, got him to this point in this opportunity. I like having a guy that has a chip on his shoulder, feeling like he has to prove something. And I think the pride of being at Kentucky, I think Pope is always going to feel like he has to prove something. If he goes and wins a national championship in 4 or 5 years, I still think that urge and that fire to do it again is always going to be there with him. That's just the kind of personality that I think that he puts off to me. I like that. I like that there's a head coach that's hungry. And not saying that other coaches in college basketball aren't, but I think in today's game, you got to have it because you're navigating so much. Whether it be recruiting, it be NIL, whatever it is, how much does NIL change? When all this happened with NIL and it first started, it all came at once, right? You had the transfer portal, NIL, COVID seniors, everything hit at once. That's a lot to absorb. NIL is going to change significantly within that first 7 to 10 year window. We don't know what it's going to look like 3 years from now. Do they cap it? Is it moving away from collectives? Like, what does it look like? You need a guy that wants to work hard in this, Jack. And there's a lot of coaches. I'm telling you, a lot of coaches around college basketball now, assistants, head coaches, they're ready to throw in the towel with how difficult it is. I see Mark Pope rolling up his sleeves with his staff trying to figure it out. What's next? And you have to want that. It's a lot, but you got to want it. But you're seeing it now, and you're right. If it's not Jasper, if it's not Mullins, whoever it is, whoever the first one is, it's going to kind of be a domino effect. You just got to get one to believe in you, and then you can kind of get another one to believe. But then you show it on the floor. Do I think that this team is going to win a national championship? I'm never going to come on here before I watch them play and say yes, because there's just so many unknowns to it. Can this be a really good college basketball team? Yes, I fully believe that. Now, can they outperform those expectations and go in and me come on here in December and say, yeah, this is one of the 4 best teams in the country? Yes. There's just so many unknowns to it right now that I don't think they're going to be bad. I'm not ready to say they're going to be great, but I think they're going to be very good. And I'm betting on them being better than I am betting on them being worse. And I think that Pope and the staff is going to coach them up. But I think you have really good college basketball players. I'm unsure how many NBA players you have right now, but I think that a collection of really good college basketball players can do a lot of damage if they're in the right system. The thing that I keep hearing, Jack, floating. How many of these guys can be in their best defensive lineup and their best offensive lineup? Why are we making such a big fuss about that? When I've got shooters and I've got 3 guys that I know have a pedigree to be a good defender, you can blend it and make it work. You don't have to have your 5 best defensive guys on the floor. Though your 5 best defenders don't have to be your 5 best shooters. You give me a balance and a mix and you give me options. I like the blend that they have. That's what I'm trying to say. I like the blended talent, the skill set. It's all about, can you move the chess pieces? If you can't, you're not going to win.
I will say all of the questions that I had for the offseason with Pope in staff building, roster building, early vibes from practice and, the summer rumblings that, fans are always so obsessed with, passed that test and those tests with flying colors, in my opinion. Now the next questions that need to be answered are going to be on the recruiting front. Like, I think that we are now firmly in recruiting territory of get a guy or two, close on a couple, and start kind of proving that you got some dog in you on the recruiting trail to start kind of keeping this momentum next year, not just let's see what we got with this one, because then you could start really building that long-term equity instead of just kind of this short term that he's established very, very well, to his credit, up to this point. But you can really start getting that juice for 26 and beyond in a hurry if you do things the right way on the recruiting trail. So those are going to be the questions that we will have answered in the immediate. We'll get some of them answered shortly because commitments are right around the corner. Like I said, Jasper's announcing here in 2 weeks. We'll know one way or the other the trajectory of the point guard position and ball handling, kind of just backcourt. They don't really like just a pure point guard. They like just the guard position. So we'll see what happens there. Land a couple of those, and I think they're gonna, a lot of optimism is gonna start rolling out moving forward beyond that. And then season's here, and then from that point, it's let's see what things look like when the ball's tipped, and we'll see what we truly have in Mark Pope as a head coach here at Kentucky. And I know fans are absolutely giddy for that. It's gonna be a really, really good couple of months.
Yeah, and we can hold off until we know something on Jasper. But, like if he ends up at Kentucky, then we can kind of dive into, is he on the ball, is he off the ball? Because I think there's a lot of, talk about that too, and about where he fits and how he would fit. But I think he would fit, and I think he could fit a variety of ways with Mark Pope wants to do. And another note too that I think is very important is when I was talking about the staff, and you've got a head coach that is not afraid to roll up his sleeves and kind of tackle those things. He's also got a staff of guys, Jack, that you can't have so many yes men around you that aren't willing to challenge you. And from everything that I've gathered with this staff and some, conversations that I've had, there are guys on there that they don't care to challenge and say, I think we should do it this way. Now it's up to Pope what they do, but you got to have those guys that are willing to challenge what you think. Whether it be your NIL approach, whether it be, hey, I don't know if we should go after this kid. I'd rather go after this guy. I like that. Because it's one big thing. And if you're sitting down at the dinner table and you're the only one talking, and I got guys doing this, get up and get out. Because I want somebody to my right and to my left, and I'm looking down the table at saying, I like what you're saying, but how about we go this direction? Then I can look at you and say, as the head man at the table, no, we're going to do this. But you start thinking about it, and then you have a community of discussion here. That's what I feel like is in that office now. No one is afraid to challenge people. You got to have that to have success. If you want that from your teammates and on the floor, you want it from your staff, and I think Pope has it.
Couldn't agree more. Can't wait to see how things unfold here in the next couple months. It's going to be a blast. We will be along for the ride. We will also be at Kentucky Roadshow Shop next Tuesday. That's going to be a show you do not want to miss. Very excited to hang out with Jimmy and see how that all goes. Make sure you go to readshepherdexperience.com. Go sign up as quickly as possible, because those spots are going to fill up in a hurry. I will be there. Come hang out with me. Come play basketball with me. And it's going to be a good couple of days in Lexington to get an all-timer back home to his second home in Lexington. We're thrilled about that and appreciate him and Madison for both coming on. And the little brief guest appearance we got from Jeff Sheppard, that was hilarious. I love the Madison. You're standing in front of the TV.
That was a really good way to end that interview. No, appreciate their time and what all they do and how it's a family thing for them. And that's why I've always thought that Reed would be successful, because it's never been Reed doing it on his own. It's always been that entire family. They've had each other's backs, and it's going to be that way for Reed throughout his professional career. And you can just tell with the way that they support him and just how much joy they have that this is all a dream for all of them.
Yeah, and Madison running the Sheppard Family Foundation, like it's a family. It's not just hanging on to Reed Sheppard's coattails. It's not hanging on to the nostalgia and Jeff and Stacy. It's everybody. They're all in this together, and that's how it should be. It's a beautiful thing.
I remember when he got his offer, when Cal and the staff went, I believe it was 4 deep, right? When they went to, it was in Birmingham, I believe, when they watched him play, and he got the offer. I reached out to Jeff and was like, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you for a story." I was thinking, this was I believe this is on a Sunday or a Saturday. I can't remember what day it was they were coming back. And I was expecting to maybe schedule it for like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and get 5 or 6 days. He's like, "You got some time right now?" And on the drive back, I literally parked in a Freddy's parking lot. And I was like, I don't have anything to record this. I found my iPad, my backpack, and I set it up kind of right there on the dash of the car. And he talked for 30 minutes, and he was just beaming with joy about, man, Reed's got this, and just so much pride in being Reed's dad. And I thought that was a really cool thing, and I never saw that change. You could see the emotion on Jeff's face. I know Jeff could get upset with Reed. You could see that sometimes. Even Stacy, both of them got upset. But it was always with so much pride. If he made a bad play, there was still pride. And they were his biggest fans and supporters. They were the team's biggest fans and supporters, and I can't wait to see how they do all this together throughout his career too.
Yep, they will always have supporters in us and in BBN, and we'll get to see some of that up close and personally here in the next couple of weeks for the Reed Sheppard Fantasy Experience. We cannot wait. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. This has been a blast. Thank you again to the Sheppards for coming on. Sean, where can fans find your work?
You can follow me at _Coach S. Smith.
Find me on Twitter at Jack Pilgrim KSR. Go subscribe to KSR Plus. Make sure you are subscribed right here on the KSR YouTube channel. We will be back next week for another Jam Packed Sources Say podcast. We will see you then.